Hey, heart seekers, welcome to the Heart's Hello Show, where we believe that our hearts are the foundation of our well being and happiness. I am your host, Keona Talana. In this episode, I want us to take some time as we are getting ready to move into the 6th month of the year to really start thinking about what has already transpired in 1 through 5. I know that a lot of people will wait until June has already completed to start thinking about what the second half of this year is going to be for them. But I want us to get a head start. I want us to be able to take some time to think about what has transpired in 1 through 5 so that when 6 has already completed itself, that we are ready to roll. And so if you are anything like me, I'm always taking some time to really just self-reflect and figure out where those areas in my life are still still in need of some gap analysis. I'm still trying to figure out what are some of the areas that I can improve in. What are some of the areas that I'm doing great in? What are some of the areas that I may not need to spend as much time because I feel like I have it. And so I want us to be able to take some time during this month to really ponder over these areas that I'm getting ready to share with you. And I don't want you to just hear what it is that I'm saying, because as I shared in last week's message, it was discussing how we're going to go from or being able to align our actions with our desires. So that means that there's going to be a level of work that we need to be able to do. And if I'm not mistaken, that the word says to not just be hearers of the words, but to actually be a doer. And so we have to be able to hear what it is that is coming out of my mouth. And then you have to be able to take action, because that action is what's going to get you. See, that action is going to be that catalyst to help you achieve those goals, dreams, and desires that I know you have. Because if you have been following this show, you know that that's what we are here for. We are trying to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. No more imposter syndrome, no more needing to code switch, no more needing to try to play a different version of you in each room that you go into, but to be the authentic version of yourself, regardless of who likes it or not. See, when we're talking about being a heart seeker, that means we are showing up in rooms as we are. And I'm hoping that that's what you've been getting from hearing this show for almost a year now. It'll be a year in August. And that's what I have been sharing, that we have to get out of the space of looking for perfection, but realizing that progress is just as important. So if you have not already, or maybe you're just going to listen to me talk the first go round, and then you're going to come back with your notepad and your pen to be prepared to take copious notes. Because I believe that when we get to a place where we are actually doing the work, that is when we will begin to see the results. And so again, we're getting a head start of our second half of the year, because I believe that if you have the opportunity to take some time and self-reflect over what has already transpired through months 1 through 5 and sit with what needs to be done in the second half of the year, then what you are seeking for will indeed find you. So here we go. The first area that I would like for us to take a look at is just being able to reflect on our achievements. We've talked about it before. We have to be able to celebrate our wins. We have to be able to pat ourselves on the back. And so the first question that I'm going to ask you is, what are 3 significant achievements or milestones that you have reached this year so far? And what accomplishments are you most proud of and why? The second area is going to be learning from challenges. What were the biggest challenges that you have faced so far this year? And how did you overcome those challenges, and what did you learn from them? The next area is going to be our personal growth, which I can say is probably one of my favorite areas. Because how have you grown personally and professionally since the beginning of the year? What new skills or knowledge have you acquired? The fourth area is going to be our goal review. What goals did you set at the beginning of the year? And which ones have you achieved so far? Are there any goals that have changed or evolved since January, and why? Now, I want to just take a minute to stop here really quickly, because there are going to be some of you all who may get to this point and begin to beat yourself up, because you may feel like that, I set these goals and I haven't been able to check any of them off. Let me go ahead and one of my favorite things, which is the Etch-a-Sketch. I'm just going to shake you up really quickly, because it is okay. It is okay. It is okay. Because you have the opportunity to realize that, okay, I did not check off all that I wanted to check off, or any of what I wanted to have done by this point in the year, but I still have time on the clock. And so that's where I need your mindset to be, that it's okay that you weren't able to do so. And do not beat yourself up, because you still have time. You still have time. So let's get to work. All right. The fifth area is going to be our health and well-being. Have you taken care of your physical and mental health this year? What habits have you developed to support your well-being? The sixth area is going to be relationships. How have your relationships, family, friends, romantic, changed or evolved over the last 5 months? And what have you learned about maintaining and improving these relationships? Number 7, financial reflection. How would you describe your financial health in the first half or the first 5 months of the year? What financial goals or practices are you focusing on moving forward? Now, for me, let me just tell you, I took some time today to look at the butt. I got some work to do, but that's neither here nor there. I needed to remind myself that there is some work that I need to do in this area. Number 8, looking ahead. What are your top 3 priorities for the second half of the year? What specific actions will you take to achieve your remaining goals? Again, the key word there was specific. What is it that you are going to do? We talked about it before. You can't just set a goal and say, oh, this is what it is that I want. For example, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. How? What is it? What actions are you going to take in order to get there? Is it 50 pounds? And you're going to finish up in December? When is your target goal? What will you be doing each week? What will you be doing each day? How will you check in? Who is going to hold you accountable? See, these are the things that we're talking about when we're looking ahead and we're taking time to look at our goals. Not only do they have to be specific, but then you have to be able to hold yourself accountable to if you don't hit them. And so let's just make sure that when we are setting these goals, that we are setting them in a manner so that we can achieve them. And I'm not just saying that they have to be you picking off the lowest hanging fruit. And what I will say is, if this is something that you're new to setting goals, you may need to pick that low hanging fruit, because you need a quick win. You need something that is going to keep some pep in your step. So that if that is you, then go ahead and pick some of that. Pick one low hanging fruit and then pick something that is going to stretch you so that you can hit your marks. All right. Our 9th area is going to be mindset and attitude. How has your mindset or attitude shifted since the beginning of the year? What positive affirmations or mantras are you using to stay motivated? Number 10, fun and recreation. What activities or hobbies have brought you joy in the first half of this year? How will you ensure to incorporate more fun and relaxation into the coming months? Y'all, can I just tell you that this is so important? That you can't be working all the time. It has to be some play in there. You have to be able to get outside and go play. Don't just be so caught up in the house that you forget that this is why they have recess in the middle of the day, because you work and then you play and then you come back and do some more work. So let's get into a habit of making sure that we are doing some fun things, that we are maybe picking up a new hobby, whatever that may be for you. But let's make sure that we have some fun and work. Fun and work, all right? 11, lessons learned. What is the most valuable lesson you have learned this year? And how will you apply this lesson to the second half of your year? This is probably going to be the most important one that I'm going to share with you. Because if you can grasp this, and this is not just something that you kind of pick up and put down. This is something that you have to hold on to each and every day. This is going to be something that when people are plucking your last nerve, that you can go back to and say, you know what? But I still have this. So number 12 is going to be gratitude and appreciation. What are you most grateful for from the first half of this year? And how do you plan to express gratitude moving forward? Can I just tell you that being in a state of gratitude every day will change your perspective on how you look at life. See, even when things are not going the way that you expect them to, being able to shift your perspective to gratitude will cause you to think about things, to react to things, to deal with people in a different manner. And that is life-changing. Most people don't express gratitude. Most people don't even wake up and at the beginning of the day and just say thank you. There are people who went to sleep and did not wake up. So being able to open our eyes is a gift. And that's how we have to be able to look at life each day. And I talked about it before, us having the ability to still have time on the clock. Let me remind you that it's not promised. And so each and every day we go to sleep each night with tomorrow on our mind, not realizing that tomorrow may or may not come. And so when we get in this space of pure gratitude, when we begin to think about all of the people that are surrounding us and how we have to be able to love on them, how we have to be able to appreciate them, how we just have to be in a space of gratitude. And y'all, can I just also say, make sure that you tell the people that are in your lives how much they care, how much you care for them, how much you love them, how much you appreciate them, how you are thinking about them. And if they cross your mind, pick up the phone and call them. Send them a quick text message and say, you know what, you just crossed my mind and I wanted to reach out and just let you know, hey, I was thinking about you. And so as we just think about all of those 12 things that I just gave you, I believe that it will set us up for an amazing second half of the year. But again, we have to be able to do some work. See, it's not by happenstance that the number 5 represents grace. And I believe that between the months of 1 through 5, we have been given much grace. You will know what area you have been given grace. And so as we move into month number 6 is going to represent human work and effort. And so I believe that we are in a space, we are right on time, we are right where we need to be to take some time to figure out what has transpired in months 1 through 5. Because number 7 represents completeness. And so I want us to be able to take some time this month to think about and reflect on what has gone well this year, what didn't work out the way that we expected it to, but then also thinking ahead on how we want the rest of our year to look. If you were not excited about how the first half of your year went, guess what? You can make a change. You have that option. It's in your hands. And so if you just take the time to sit and go through those 12 areas that I just shared with you, I promise you that you will see a better second half of your year because you are intentional. You realize that there is something more that I can be doing. If this is your first time listening to this show, I just want to welcome you. I want to welcome you. And then I also want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to me. Because one thing that I realize is that time is our most precious commodity. And you took your time to listen. And hopefully that it will give you what it is that you need in order to be the catalyst for an amazing life, for an amazing adventure that we are all on together. So again, I just want to thank you all for joining me for another adventure of the Heart's Hello Show. We're together, we embrace vulnerability, we learn from each other, and we spread love, one heartfelt hello at a time.